Now, brioche sounds like a scary recipe, but if you think about it, it's really just a basic bread that has been enhanced or enriched with a little bit of butter and eggs. So let's make brioche together, and I'm gonna show you step by step, and you'll see after all, it's not so scary. So in my bowl, I've got some golden cloud flour and my yeast, which I'm going to now add my milk. You wanna make sure that your milk is lukewarm. If you don't want it scalding, because that's gonna kill the yeast, which is gonna prevent the bubbles from forming in your dough to rise. You wanna make sure it's more or less your room temperature, or is the same temperature as your finger. I'm also gonna add some honey and just a little bit of salt, just to help get this dough coming together. And once we see it looking like this, it's a bit dry. So I'm gonna start adding my eggs before transferring it to my board. So when you bake bread, you want a lot of gluten development. Gluten is not the scary thing people might have you think, but gluten has a very important role when it comes to bread. That's what makes the bread springy and light and gives it that chewy texture. You want to develop that by encouraging those gluten bits to form. And I'll show you later on when our dough is ready, where you can see and spot the gluten formations. So our dough is ready. You can see that I'm able to slap it down and fold it over. A tip when the dough gets sticky is I've used some oil and just lightly coated my hands, and that's helping it to not stick to everything, even the counter. Now, you know when your dough is ready, apart from the gluten development, when it looks as smooth as a baby's bum. If it looks like cauliflower, keep going. But our dough is ready now, so it needs to rise. So I'm gonna put it in a bowl. Again, lightly cover it with some oil, just so that it doesn't dry out. Keep an eye on it, make sure it's covered, and put it in a warm place to speed it up. I have the benefits of the magic of TV. So this dough has already gone through its first rise. You can see some of the oil still there, and it has already gone through the first fermentation. So you can see it's nice and smooth, like a baby's bum. You want to aim for the same sized balls so that they all bake the same way and so that they all rise in the same time. Otherwise, you might end up with some rolls that are a bit crispy and more French, more burnt than what you meant to be, and others then still raw. Our dough is ready. Our balls have risen. They've got their egg wash. Make sure that your oven is preheated to 175 degrees. I like adding an oven safe bowl at the bottom. That is going to help create some steam for the first part of the baking process. If you have a fancy oven that has a bread baking setting, this would be the time to use it now. My buns are going to bake for about 25 to 35 minutes. If you have a bigger loaf, you probably want to check between 35 and an hour. You'll see that it's ready when the sides start pulling away and you have a golden crust. It's also going to tell you by the way it's going to smell. All right, now the last step in making this brioche extremely luxurious is doing a sage butter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my butter, some sage, Get the butter melted. Make sure your pan is not too hot. You don't want to burn the milk solids. My butter is nice and melted, so I'm going to go ahead and add the honey to sweeten the deal. Now we're almost ready for those gorgeous buns to get their top dressing. Oh, that's good. All right, so we've got our butter. I'm just going to use a pastry brush and give it that lovely, gorgeous shine. Another layer of flavor when you bite into it. So for my completed dish today, I am going to fill them with some pistachio cream that I've made earlier. All right, so I think mine's quite saturated. I'm going to take them out of their tins. I'm gonna take my filling, put it into a piping bag so it's a little bit easier to maneuver. And yeah, I hope you try it out, and I hope you invest in some flaky salt, because sometimes it is worth it. The GP costs, food costs be damned. All right, so I am going to use a piping bag to pipe in my filling. I'm gonna make a little hole at the bottom where nobody's gonna see, and really use it to get in there to create a nice little filled space, thanks to our dough and our yeast. So I'm choosing to make a little bit of a tower and adding some edible flowers. Now it would be ready to serve, but perks about being the chef, you get to taste first. So, I'm sorry, I have to. Remember, this is just one avenue of what you can do with brioche. You can go and create your own dish, make it your own thing, and the sky's your limit. Remember to tag us at Tiger Brands Food Service Solutions if you are recreating any of our recipes. I'm dying to see what creativity is out there. So tag us, I'll be looking. For now, I need a moment with my bun.